So I understand that you were in a documentary about these type of cars, right? The Tourist.
Well, actually, I worked with Ken Burns and Dayton Duncan on a project in 2002 supplying images as well as consulting for Horatio's Drive, which is the first trip across the United States by Horatio Nelson Jackson, who had a bet for, I think it was $50 or $75 that he could drive across America by automobile, and nobody had done that in 1902. So in 1903, he bought this used Winton and drove across America and was the first to do that.
What was the route?
It went from San Francisco up through northern California and then southern Oregon, southeast corner of Oregon, and then across Higgly Piggly, across Nebraska, and it was quite an arduous journey because at that particular time we did not have good roads. There was no road maps or anything because nobody had done that, and even getting supplies like gasoline and such was very difficult.
Yeah, there probably wasn't established gas stations set up yet, right?
There would not be, because you'd buy your gasoline at the paint store or the drugstore or the farm supply, because gasoline was generally used for illumination and cooking. So they had stoves that used gasoline.
Okay.
But
so not oil, so oil lamps, is that something different than gasoline, or
that's kerosene?
Kerosene,
or
right?
So oil or whatever. It's a different grade. So you cannot run your car on kerosene unless it's a special design engine. The diesel engines are essentially that. But
okay.
Your internal combustion engine needs gasoline. So druggists would sell gasoline. I've read accounts of the early pioneering of the automobile in the early 1890s, in which this gentleman by the name of Hiram Percy Maxim was interested in building an automobile, and he bought this bottle of gasoline from the druggist, and the druggist says, be very careful with this stuff. This is very dangerous. So what he did was he got a shell, artillery shell, a large artillery shell, with an eyedropper, and dropped 3 or 4 drops of gasoline in the shell, threw a match in, and it goes whoosh. So then he realized, I need more gasoline, so a few more drops. And then finally, after this determination of the amount of ratio, he figured out the fuel-air ratio, which is essentially everything operates on that.
Yeah.
So these things that people take for granted in the development of the automobile, such as the road system or even the mechanical or the dealer network, all of those things, it took a lot of effort to create those. And it wasn't something that happened overnight.
I never even really thought about how people put together the air-gas ratio when it comes to automobiles.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because so what happened was him dropping this eyedropper in this artillery shell. At some particular point, it wouldn't go whoosh or thud. It would be a loud bang. And that's when he determined. And then what happened was, too, more eye drops, and then it also quelched the explosion. So gasoline is essentially burns. So this air to fuel ratio is a very important thing. That it works on all automobiles, whether it's the most modern car, has the same ratio of air to fuel.